In this video, we're going to talk about how to manually test your website for accessibility. Now, in this video, I'm going to use the RAMP platform by accessibleweb.com. Welcome to the Accessibility Guide channel. My name is Sean Jordison, and let's jump into the rain. Manual accessibility testing is never going to go away, and your website still needs human eyes on it. There's an automation gap that occurs with automated scanning tools. Now, while I recommend using automated scanning tools, they can only catch like half of the actual accessibility problems. Many of the WCAG success criteria still require manual verification. And virtually all websites still have some form of accessibility problems after automated scanning. And many websites that we encounter today still fail accessibility requirements. Unfortunately, even the best tools cannot evaluate the user experience. Here are some things that automation misses: screen reader navigation and reading order, keyboard focus management in complex interactions, meaningful alt text, and the proper use of IRA code. Accessibility isn't just about passing a checklist. It's about ensuring real users with disabilities can navigate, understand, and interact with your content effectively. But you might be asking, why should you care? Well, for one, it's important to provide access to people with disabilities, but it's also the law. We have a legal requirement to provide our content in an accessible way under ADA, Section 508, WCAG, and Title II here in the US. It can help you avoid costly lawsuits and remediation, and it can help you reach a wider global audience. Additionally, it can help improve SEO and the overall user experience. Manual testing can include keyboard-only navigation, screen reader testing, focus indicator visibility, and logical reading order. And it can look for things like skip links and landmark navigation. Now, anytime I need to manually evaluate a website, I like to use the RAMP platform by accessibleweb.com. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually log into my account at ramp.accessibleweb.com. Now, I've already added my URL, and now I want to figure out which pages I actually want to manually audit. So to begin, I'm going to select the Manual Auditing tab on the far left side. This takes us to somewhat of a grid where we can add different website pages that require manual testing. What I love about accessibleweb.com is it makes it really easy for us to see all of the WCAG standards that are required for testing. What I like to do is first add my most commonly used pages to my manual auditing grid. Right now, I have my homepage and my accessible document service page, but my recommendation would be to add any other reusable templates that you use frequently across your site. This is a good starting point to increase the accessibility of your website as a whole. Now, once you have added your homepage to the grid, we can begin our manual audit. Now, Accessible Web makes this super easy for us. For example, if we want to test meaningful sequence 1.3.2, we can select this button on the criteria, which will take us to a built-in video description of the success criteria that we are looking to test against. Now, I could watch this video, I could read the transcripts, but I understand what I'm looking for, so I'm actually going to go under the Home tab under 1.3.2, and I'm going to select the right arrow. This will bring up this information for me to test. This is 2.0, we have level A, and there are 5 tests that we're going to perform on this specific page. And what we're going to do is select perform 5 tests. If I do find errors along the way, I can actually add those remediation tasks to my account and have them assigned to my web developer to go and fix them. But for now, we're just building out our manual testing. So let's select the perform 5 tests. This is going to take me to the web page that is being tested, and it pulls up our accessible web helper extension. Let's select continue to test. Now, under this criteria, we have 5 different areas that we are going to test. The first is text direction. And what I'm going to do is select that criteria. And it's giving us a description of what we're going to look for our manual test. So when using text that is read right to left, the appropriate text direction must be specified. Now, I already know I don't have any right to left language on my webpage. So in this example, because I don't have any right to left languages, we can mark this test as completed. So let's select complete. Then we're going to select back our top level link, and next we're going to go into letter spacing, and it gives us a description of the things we're looking for. And in this example, we never use white space characters to adjust the spacing between letters in a word. I do not use any white spacing throughout my letters. And so in this example, I can mark it as complete. Then we're going to select the back button, and let's go into positioning content with CSS. Meaningful content must retain meaning when CSS is disabled. Now, I did not use CSS to build this page, and it's very linear, so this is another one that I can just mark complete. But if I needed to look at it a little bit further, we can activate the element highlighter. Now, this is directly within the web helper extension. So if I select this span YouTube as an example, it should highlight all the content that is used with CSS. And it does appear I have some content marked with CSS, but it does not shift the reading order of the content. I had some custom CSS done to my menu, but everything would still come out accurately, and they're not missing any information if the CSS was turned off. And so if I turn it off here, we have all of our different logos, but we have all of our text and our logo information. So I'm not saying it's pretty, but all the content is actually there. And I love the fact that we can turn on or off the CSS with this accessible web helper extension. This is super handy for our remediation. So now that I know that I'm passing, I'm going to select complete. Then we're going to go back to the criteria, and we have two more to choose from. We have layout table sequence. This information presented in layout tables must make sense where the table is viewed in DOM order. I don't believe there are any tables on this page, so in this example, I'm going to select complete. Then we're going to go back. We've got one more for columns, and we want to check columns should not be created using white space characters. That is true. That does not happen on my site, so I can select complete. Then we're going to go back, and we can finish and go back to the ramp platform. Now what this does is it updates my meaningful sequence under my homepage for that specific criteria. And now I can move on to the next part of this manual test. Now, if there was something wrong with this test, I could come in here and add a remediation task. But my favorite feature of using the ramp platform by Accessible Web to manually test my web pages is that I have everything in a singular spot. We can then go ahead and filter and sort our content based on the WCAG rule set or by the success criteria. So if things are failing or we wanted to view specific elements across multiple sites, we can run that report and view our results so that we can go and fix it at a later time. If you want to try out the ramp platform for yourself, they offer a free 14-day trial. And if you want to find out how I can help you get accessible, book a meeting with me right now. And as always, I can be your champion for inclusion. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you over in the next video.